I'm not making a normal video like I usually do. I'm trying to use my voice in more videos now, as you can probably tell. But today I just kind of wanted to share some stuff about me because I feel like I've just kind of been that one like inconspicuous YouTuber or something. I don't know, like just like that one YouTuber that just kind of hasn't really ever said anything about himself, and she's kind of putting content out randomly to people that literally don't even like barely know this guy. So I just wanted to say hi. I'm not gonna share my real life name, but hi. You probably know me by my online YouTube name, or maybe you know me from a video game that maybe me and you have played together, or maybe you're someone that I know. Um, First things first, I just kind of wanted to be real. I'm kind of doing this like unscripted, so if I maybe stutter or like pause in like the middle of saying something, kind of like what I did just there to kind of think of what to say, I'm sorry, because this video is really not going to be that high quality because I'm really just kind of sharing things about me, you know. So first things first, I just wanted to say most of my days I'm usually kind of doing schoolwork, sometimes maybe playing video games. I don't really have real life friends. I haven't had real life friends in a while. I've kind of it's really just been me and my family for a while. I'm from the Bahamas. Yes, that's really rare to probably hear like, yo, a YouTuber isn't from the States. Holy crap. But yeah, I'm not from the States or anything like that. I really like very cartoony video games. That's why I play a lot of like Mario games and Sonic games or whatever, and talk about a lot of like Smash Bros. Because cartoony games just tend to be really fun to me. I don't really like a lot of gun games. I feel like a lot of gun games are just super duper like violent or whatever, and I'm just really not into those kind of games. Um, I've recently been playing Minecraft, but I kind of stopped after like today. I don't know. I just kind of lost interest in Minecraft after today. It just started to get a little boring. Jesus, holy frame spike. I think that's the snow. Um, I kind of haven't really like been real to myself these last few days because it's like a lot of people kind of ask me, maybe if I'm like in a voice call in Discord or something, and they kind of just like asking me about like me. I'll kind of tell them like I don't have like friends or whatever, and then they're like, "How do you not have friends?" And then I just kind of play it off like it's nothing. But to be real, it's pretty lonely not having friends sometimes because maybe I do have a brother, and I have a very loving brother. I care for him a lot, and he cares for me a lot. But most of the time, our days are kind of occupied with school, so we don't end up really doing anything with each other. My mom and dad work a lot, so I'm usually home alone just with my brother a lot. Like today, I was home alone for a little bit with my brother, but my dad came home earlier this afternoon. He's just kind of been here. Um, I'm not very good at talking when recording videos, or just like talking in like online to other people because it feels pretty awkward to me. I'm a lot better at face to face, but like you can probably tell how awkward I probably sound recording this. Like I just don't sound like I'm really into anything. I'm not really used to doing this because I'm used to hiding my voice because I don't know. I never really used to like people knowing like how I sounded because I was a little insecure that my voice was super deep or whatever, and I just kind of figured that like didn't sound right, so I didn't want people to kind of hear how I sounded or whatever. But I kind of grew out of that recently, so I don't really care anymore. Um, I haven't been to the Bahamas in huh, in about maybe 7 years now. I believe, yeah, no, sorry, 6 years. No, please, God, no, don't make that joke in the comment section. If you do, I'm genuinely just gonna remove your comment or report it. Or I'm gonna put the pin of shame on you. Like, do not make a joke about that number. I really hate that number. Um, I haven't been back to the Bahamas since 2020. It's been 6 years. And that's because there was a storm that happened back in 2020 called Hurricane Dorian. Maybe somehow, some way, one of you guys kind of heard about Hurricane Dorian back in 2020. But basically, this storm was supposed to head for a different place in the Bahamas. But because I'm from Freeport, there is a lot of other different places in the Bahamas, like Cat Island, Andros, Nassau. There's a lot of other different places. It was supposed to head for one of those other places, but the storm took a complete turn, and it came to where me and my family were. But the thing is that me and my family didn't know that this storm was gonna happen, because around that time we took a vacation up to the States in Florida, I believe. I think we were gonna go back to. I think we were gonna go to Disneyland again, and we had heard on the news that the storm took a complete turn, and we lost basically everything. We had a house that got washed away. All of the stuff. I was going into second grade at the time. You could probably make out how old I am now from that. If I was going into second grade in 2020. I don't care if you call me a new gen in the comment section. This really isn't what this video is about. I'm gonna be so real. If you're still dissing people because of their age, you're genuinely like a sicko, because I didn't choose how old I was. I was born at a certain time. If I wanted to be old, I probably would have chosen to be born around the same time my parents were like born, but I'm not. It wasn't in my power. So I don't care if you call me new gen, whatever. Just like right now I'm talking about me. So whatever you might think in your head, it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, so while we were in the States, we heard the news on the news, funnily enough, and my parents were devastated. We had no money at the time, like none at all. And we were kind of living in a hotel, and I didn't actually even know the severity of the situation, because I thought the storm was just like any other storm we normally had, which was just some thunder, heavy blowing wind, and a lot of rain. But apparently it was like, from what I heard, it was an entire flood. And like, our house was about, I think my parents told me a while ago, our house was like 16 feet tall or something. Our entire house was like, yeah, it was like 16 to 20 feet tall. Our entire house was submerged underneath the water from the flooding. It was that bad. And fast forwarding just a little bit before I go back to where we are in the story, around late 2020 actually, because we went back to the Bahamas for a little bit just during late 2020. Because we left the Bahamas in early 2020, and we went back for just like maybe, I think it was 1 month in late 2020. When we went back, we went to check the house. All of the doors had been washed away. Half of the ceiling was gone. Everything was drenched in water. All of our plates and everything, you could see fragments of them on the ground. Some of my clothes, for me being like not two, for me being 7 or whatever, it was there. My Wii was completely like broken. Like the thing was snapped open in half. We had an Xbox. The Xbox was broken. The Xbox actually didn't take much damage. It had a slight dent on the top, but it was just submerged in water, so that's what broke it. But the only thing that survived the storm that I could remember that wasn't just me and my family was our 2DSs. We took them with us when we went to Florida to have something to play. No, actually, no, sorry. Yeah. We took them with us because we got them in 2016. We took them with us before the storm. We took them with us, but like before we went to the States to go to Disneyland or whatever. And then those were the only surviving like games we had from our childhood. And actually, even then, I had a blue 2DS. It wasn't a special edition, whatever. It was just a normal 2DS. My blue 2DS stopped working. I accidentally spilled water on it, and it went inside the system, and it messed with the entire system. So the only 2DS that we have now is we have a yellow Mario Maker special edition. This thing is 9 years old, and I've been doing everything in my power to make sure that this 2DS, nothing ever happens to it, because it's the last memory I have of the life that I used to live before I've kind of never been back home again. I haven't been back home since 2020. That's 6 years. So basically, back to where we were in 2020, middle 2020. We were forced to live with some people. Well, not really forced, but some people invited us to live with them because they heard of what had happened to us over the news and they felt really bad, or so we thought. But so we lived there. We decided to go and live there with them. And they were a very welcoming family at first, but then some things started to peek through. I just want to clarify this. As much as I hate bringing this into this, I am of black ethnicity. I am not Caucasian, I am not Asian, whatever you want to call it. I am of black ethnicity. I have an afro. I am rather light skinned, but my mom, dad, and brother, they're all dark skinned. I have a dull nose. I have whatever you need to be able to identify a black person, I have it. I might even have the voice too, I don't know. I don't really hear my voice like that. But basically, these people, or at least the dad and the son specifically, were very racist towards us. I can't even sugarcoat it. Basically, the dad was stealing money from my mom and dad almost every night that we went to sleep. I remember seeing him. He went into my mom and dad's drawer, and he kept every. And it was like every single night he took like dollar bills out the drawer, unironically. And his son wasn't any better either. His son stole a copy of Super Mario 3D Land from me. That was one of my only remaining things from my childhood, along with a couple of other game cards that I have from living the life that I used to live, with my perfect chill life where I had friends and whatever. It was one of the last remaining things that I had. And he took that from me. And he also just used to stew and say a lot of racist and rude things to me. I remember one time, he was also just a really disgusting kid. I remember one time we were in their pool because they had like a saltwater. They were one of the only people in the residence who had like a saltwater pool. I couldn't swim in chloride because chloride used to mess with my nose and I used to get allergies from chloride. So I used to have to swim in salt water. That's the water I grew up around, because in the Bahamas we have a lot of salt water. Our water is like purely salt water. There's no like other type of water that we have. We just have like pure salt water. There's not fresh ocean water or whatever. But he basically, because we were going into the pool, he didn't want us to be in his pool anymore. And what he did was he peed in the pool right in front of us while we were inside the pool. And then when his parents asked what happened, he blamed it on his sister. And his sister, we all know, a woman would not be capable of doing that as easily as a guy. Like, I'm not even trying to be sexist, but a woman would have to do a lot more to, especially I don't want to be graphic, they'd have to do a lot more to aim in order to get it to go into the pool compared to a guy. Like, it's just common sense, right? But he blamed it on his sister, and him looking like such an innocent child, his parents believed him, and they did absolutely nothing about it, and his sister took the fall for it, and she was grounded for 2 weeks. I remember that. But long story short, we ended up moving out, and we moved somewhere else into like an apartment of our own. We're just gonna live in there. Nothing really happened there, like at all, that I can really recall of. But we went to the school. The school was the issue. This school was called RPA, Royal Palm Academy. Seeing as how I don't go there anymore, there's no point in me not hiding. There's no point in me hiding the name. I'm not gonna get demonetized, whatever, for it. My channel isn't. I don't get money off of my channel. I'm not monetized on this. So basically, the school, RPA, I didn't really get treated wrong like that a lot. There were some little times where maybe some of the white girls would pick on me specifically, probably for my skin color, but at the time I didn't know what race was. I just saw humans as humans. But basically, my brother went through some pretty insane stuff. I don't even want to get into all the stuff because some of the stuff that happened to him I probably can't even talk about on YouTube, but some of the more PG stuff, some girls lied on him. Basically, they invited him to play something with them. I don't know if it was like volleyball or whatever. I don't know. But they invited him to play something with him. And He said yes, because he didn't have any friends at the time. Like, he couldn't make friends in school. It was hard for him to make friends in school. And nothing happened during their play session at all. And they were done and it was whatever. But apparently at the end of the school day, these girls went to the principal and said that he made them feel uncomfortable and that he supposedly touched them. This is a 12-year-old kid at the time. Probably doesn't even know what the hell touching people is, right? And he got called to the principal's office for it. They didn't even ask him if this was true or not. They didn't ask him for his side of the story or whatever. They just saw another black kid, and they saw white girls saying that a black kid touched them. So all they saw was the stereotype. That's just how it was. And my brother also was told in his class, he had a project for, I think something for history. And he had to, it was a group project. And he had to do a group project with some of the kids in his class. One of the kids in his class told him while they were doing the project, and I quote from what he told me, one of them said directly to his face, "Well, you should know where Africa is on the map, right?" Unhinged, no filter, no nothing. This is exactly what I've been told. This is what this kid supposedly said to my brother. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell my brother that I don't believe him, because these things my mom had to get involved in, and my mom would also say the exact same thing, and I know my mom wouldn't lie to me. So and eventually we got out the school year, and me and my brother were some of the best performing kids out of the entire school. Wow, shocker. But after that scarred not just my brother but my parents, and even me to some extent, so badly to the point where my parents put me and my brother in homeschool. And I've been in homeschool for the last 5 years now. My parents don't necessarily teach me. It's more or less like an online school. Like, I go into Zoom classes on a certain day or whatever, and then after that I just kind of do the work on a website, and they can see when I do the work or whatever, and they can grade it and stuff. But the sad part about it is that even through all of that, to this day, I'm not in like the United States anymore. I'm still in North America, but I'm not gonna say where because I don't feel like revealing my identity. But actually, no, I sometimes tag like my videos of where I am, so I can just say I'm in Canada now. But I'm not gonna say exactly where in Canada. But I'm in Canada now, so I'm in a much better state, a much less racist state. But even to this day, after everything that we've been through, I can't say that I can call any of these places home. I feel like I haven't been able to experience a real childhood since grade 1 at my old school, with kids that looked like me, talked like me, and appreciated me for who I was. But now I'm really just in a school where nobody cares about who I am. They just see me, and they don't care to talk to me or maybe ask me how my day is going. There have been times where maybe in a Google chat for my school, I've asked kids maybe what are their interests to try to maybe make some new acquaintances, and nobody ever wants to talk to me because all they see is a black kid in a predominantly white school. I can't do much about that. So I found a place to be me on YouTube, and that's why I'm doing what I do now. I make videos and then I upload them. Even if this video doesn't get as much views as maybe as I would want it to, I still appreciate if you actually watched up to this point. I still appreciate the fact that you watched up to this point to hear my story. I know a lot of people really just kind of don't care because all they really see you as is a person who's putting out stuff for their entertainment, but I figured since I was going to do more actual, real talking content, then maybe I should, be more interactive with my viewers about it too. So I just kind of wanted to share about me. I have a new goal this year. I wanted to hit 500 subscribers this year. Happy 2024 again. 2026, sorry, to anybody who, probably maybe didn't watch the last video, which is just a re-upload. Seeing as how I hit 265 subs before this year came out, or before last year ended, I was thinking maybe 500 would be a good goal, because if we could get over 250, which is half of 500, 15 over 250, maybe we could get 500 this year. Who knows? Or another 250 this year to hit 500. But yeah. Again, if you watched up to this point, thank you for listening to my story. I really appreciate it. Just hearing me out and talk for a couple minutes. Hopefully this didn't take out too much time in your day or take away from anything too important you had to do, but I just kind of felt like I had to talk about it, because if I'm gonna start being more of me on my channel, I figured you guys should know who I am and what I've been through. I can't say I've experienced a lot of bad things in my life that's specifically just regarded to me, but there's a lot of shared bad experiences that I've had with my family. I don't want to share a lot more of them because it's really sensitive content, but maybe if it stops affecting me as much, I'll share it later. But yeah, that's me. Guess I'll see you guys in another video. Just one notice though, I'm not ending Smash Remix's Broken series. Some people were asking me about it. I'm not ending it. I'm either gonna have to find even more content to suck out of 2.0.0, which is really hard at this point, or wait for the next update, which is gonna be easier for me. So I'm trying to wait for the next update, and if that doesn't come out anytime soon, then I'll look for more content to suck out of 2.0.0. But it's not gone. It's just on halt, okay? Keep that in mind. But thank you for watching. That's all I have to say.